Alright, here is a quick tutorial on using selection tools in Photoshop. And I have a variety of selection tools. Oftentimes we want to select things in order to delete them or highlight them, etc. So here are your selection tools. The first one is your rectangular marquee tool. And I'm going to take this picture of alligator here. And I will use the marquee anytime that I want to cut something out in big sections. So if I have a whole selection in the background and I want to cut it out, for example, I can use that and just cut it. I also have that in single rows, or you can do a circle. And so if you want to select a circle and have it be part of the design, you can also use the circle marquee. Under the Polygon and the lasso tool, there are 3 different choices. And the lasso will just let you lasso big areas. Excuse me. So I can lasso a whole area like that and delete it or fill it in with something else. I often like the Polygon one. So if I want to, for example, get her eye, and I don't want to use a magnet, but I want to use a polygon, I just start here. And every time I click, it's going to make a point. So each one of those places where I'm stopping, I'm clicking my mouse, and that will make a point. So I can be pretty accurate with the polygon without having to do any kind of magnet polygon. That's the difference between that. And when I close that up, and if you click 3 times, one, two, minus. All right. So now that's all there. I could actually cut her eye out and put it on a new layer, which would be really useful for a variety of reasons. That I could put a solid color behind it, or I might want to take part of it and make an animation or resize it or do something. So I've used that tool there. And then most people really like the magnetic lasso because it will allow you to get some shapes without doing some of the work. So I'm not clicking, I clicked once, and then I'm following around the edges, and the magnet is kind of feeling where the dark areas are. And so it has done a lot of the same work as the clicking one, or the regular polygon lasso has done. So I can then cut that to be on my background layer and put it back in, or fix something the same way. Right, and you see that was pretty close there just with the magnetic lasso. The next one then next to it is the quick selection tool and the magic wand tool. And you have plus and minus on all of these selection tools. So say that I'm using the quick one, which is this brush here, and I want to select the eye. And if I get more of it than I want, I've got it on minus. I have to do it on plus. If I've got more, oh, I've got to be on the dog. I got more of it than I want. See that I've selected more than the eye. Then I can come over here and use the minus there and take away the parts that I don't want. If it's too big and it's taking more than I want, then I can change the size of the brush and use less in the minus. And then I can just keep taking away until I have exactly the area that I want to get with that quick selection tool. And when I'm selecting things to paint, to copy, to change the color, I usually will use all the different selection tools to get there. So I can just cut that eye away and paste it back into place. And then I have a new layer there. The next one, which I will use for deleting the most, is the magic wand tool. And if I have big areas that I want to get rid of, like in the background, and I'm not on the background. So if I wanted to get rid of the dirt, and there are whole areas of green there, then that selected an awful lot. But see, I've got the face there as well. So I'll go back over to the quick selection tool, make sure that it is on minus, and then just come in and color with my mouse, and that will take away any area that I'm coloring that I don't want to lose, because I have it on minus. Isn't that cool? And now I can cut that away, and I've gotten rid of almost all of that background. The next thing that you will want to do is, if you look at select, then there's different ways that you can select. You can select all, you can reselect, you can select in a mask. I really like select in a color range. And so you can take your eyedropper, which it gives here, and select a color range. And now I have selected all that entire brown area there, and I'm on my background to make sure I'm on that layer, and I click OK, and I can just cut it away. So if I had an awful amount of an area that was too gray or too brown, too green, select color range, and I can get all the green there and cut it away. It had no pixels selected because I forgot to deselect. So you can select and deselect here, or you can use the Control or Command D, and that's deselect. So now I can select my color range, and let's get rid of all the green here. So anything green on the picture, it will cut away. If it doesn't get enough of the green, you can change the fuzziness value here and see how much green is actually coming into the background. And it's not getting any of my dogs, so I can see that I can get rid of quite a lot by just doing that. And then I'll just cut it away. Now once I get down to where I've got rid of everything that I'm not going to do, I could have her blink the eyes or do all kinds of things in animation, I will probably want a new background. So if you're getting rid of everything but you want black in the background, then you just come here and click on black and put in a layer over here, a new layer on the side, and make sure your picture is above that layer. And then you could use your paint bucket to pour down black in the background. Make sure you're on that layer, and there is everything black. I did it in the wrong layer. You see how I lit that up right there? You want to make sure you're on the right layer when you pour it in. And now I've gotten rid of everything in the background but those little specks. If I can't get anything else, I'll often come in then with my eraser in that, if nothing else is working, and get a fairly good sized eraser. And just come into that layer and just erase anything that's away from what I don't want. And if I'm erasing for a clear background, so it goes onto another image like an animation or on a website, I'll often put a color back there so I can see what's showing and not showing. So even if I didn't want it to be red and my things would show up better with red, I might kind of put red in that and then go back to black, or bright green in that and go back to black later, so that I could see if there was anything showing up that I didn't want to show up. So I'll go back to my background and see, now I went to green. You can see all those different sparkles of those colors that you didn't want. And with my eraser then, whoops, I'm in the wrong one again. Black, green. I can see my color over here. Then I can come back and erase further. Make sure you're on the right layer. and get rid of it. All right, have fun with your selections.